being ready to play in a full game, being cleared. But it's good to see him out there getting shots up and doing some light running. And then hopefully as we continue on with him, the next step, next progression is to get him cutting and moving and then integrate him back into full practice mode. And Juwan will be out tomorrow. He continues to be day-to-day.
With Casey, what's kind of the balance there with wanting to get him acclimated back in before the schedule vamps up next month, but also being careful not to have any setbacks? Like, I guess, how cautious are you being with him right now?
Well, we're going to get him back in there when he's ready to play, and he's close. There's no doubt about it. And the one thing we don't want to do is throw him out there before he is completely 100% ready, and then he has some type of setback that pushes him back a couple weeks. We don't want that to happen. So we're taking a very cautious approach with Casey, but he's made unbelievable progress the last couple weeks since he had the sprain. And again, we'll see how he's doing in the morning. If he doesn't have any soreness, we'll get him through a full shoot-around tomorrow and then make the decision from there. But we feel really good about where Casey is right now and hopefully get him back on the court soon.
What can you say about the two signings today?
Yeah, really excited about the guys that signed with us today, starting with Nick Janowski. Nick is one of the purest shooters that I've seen at that age. Coach Nate and I went up and saw him in an open gym type setting, and they're face guarding him in practice, and he's still finding a way to get open. He's got a tremendous basketball IQ. He can play with the ball in his hands. He can play off the ball. But in our read and react, 5-out spaced offense, he's going to fit in beautifully with that. One of the most competitive kids I've ever seen at that level. His first workout every day is at 4:30 in the morning, and then he's in the gym usually 3 times, sometimes 4, over the course of the day. And just to see his competitive fire and spirit, even in an open gym type setting, it's exactly what we're looking for. As we continue to try to put the right guys into our system, and he fits us from a culture standpoint as well. As far as Braden Frager, we're thrilled to have him. He's one of the most athletic kids I've seen in that entire class. Goes up and finishes above the rim with authority. Dunks in a crowd, and he's a kid that is really working on and improving his shot. He was a 42% three-point shooter a year ago at Southwest. And you can just tell the amount of time that he's putting in to continue to make himself a great elite shooter to go with that athleticism. He's Big Ten body ready right now, even as what was a 25 class, but he's, as you guys saw, reclassing to 24. And the way that whole process went down is we had a lot of talks with the family, a lot of talks with Braden, just about the different options that he would have. And he's in a position right now where he can graduate. He's done a great job in the classroom, and we just all kind of collectively got together and saw that would be the best option for him. His focus right now is to help Lincoln Southwest compete for a championship for this season, and then we'll look forward to getting him here next summer.
With both those guys, how much do they kind of fit this mold, not just as players, but cultural, with like the toughness and just kind of the tenacity that they bring? Is that kind of a continuation of this kind of plan for the roster that basically started last year?
Yeah, it's the big thing we talk about as a staff is continuing to try to get the guys in here that fit what we want from a culture standpoint. And it started with last year's team. I know I say this a lot, but I give Sam Griesel, Emmanuel Bandamel, Derek Walker a ton of credit for really setting the tone every day. And then you get a Rink Mast and a Josiah Alec, Boogie Coleman. You get Bryce Williams in here, and you got guys that fit how we want to go out and compete. I think you saw that with the exhibition, and then with the first game of the season, and hopefully that will continue to ramp up as we go throughout the season. These two fit exactly what we're looking for from that standpoint. They're ultra competitive players. Like I said, Nick Janowski, he's a guy. He puts the right things in his body. He's already got that figured out. Hell, I went to Taco Bell every Wednesday on my off day when I was in college. But guys that have it figured out early, it's pretty darn impressive. And by the way, Robin, I miss those Taco Bell days, man. Those were good. But yeah, it's a fun. I know those guys are going to be fun to coach because they fit who we want to be. And again, two guys that I know that our crowd will rally behind, especially getting a local kid. That's important. To get a guy like Braden Frager, who's right here in our backyard, and he's excited. His family's excited about obviously watching him play. I played in my hometown, and there's nothing like it to have the support of your friends and family, and to help you through some tough times.
With Braden, with Braden, what was it that what did he do that told you like he's ready to reclassify? He'll be ready a year ahead of schedule.
Well, I think it started with his body and his physicality, and when you have that athleticism, he plays in a great program. He plays for a great coach, and Alex Baugh, and played in a really good AAU program. And again, he competed against some really, really high level players, 4- and 5-star guys. And he didn't back down from anybody. That's what we love about him. And he's not afraid to go up and try to dunk on an entire team. And just to see again how his shot has progressed, he was really good at our elite camp that we had, and to add him to our family is something that is a great step. But yeah, he just felt that he'd be ready, come in, start the player development part as soon as he gets in here in the summer, and just continue to take his game to the next level.
Not that guys can't make their own individual decisions, but did Grissel sort of show what a local thing can look like, a local guy having success, and how people got behind that?
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the reason we got Josiah is he saw I think the amount of fun that Sam had and the success that Sam had here in his final year and being able to play in front of his family. And same thing with Braden, to be here, have a chance to play in front of the people that have supported him his whole life. Again, from experience, there's nothing better than that. And he's, again, a high-level competitor. That's the thing we love most about it. And you have to make sure they fit. You can't just take a hometown kid to take them. You have to take somebody that fits in what you do. And I think Braden fits perfectly with how we play.
Looking at Florida A&M, what goes into preparation against a team that has 9 newcomers? There's a whole lot.
Yeah, it's always difficult to prepare. It was the same thing we had in the opener. We do have a film exchange from their scrimmage. We give them our exhibition, and we get theirs as well. So you get a little bit of a feel for all the newcomers, but it is a completely new team. And listening to the comments from their coach, he said it's the most talent that he's had in the program. And one thing that I learned from last night, Creighton's really frickin' good. With the way they shot the ball, it was very impressive with how they got out of the gate in that game. But there's definitely talent on the floor tomorrow, and it's important for us to hopefully get off to a good start and sustain it for 40 minutes. I thought we did a good job of that in the opener against Lindenwood, and it's going to be important to get off to a good start again tomorrow.
Just kind of random, but going back to Eli and then the 2 signees today, they're all lefties. Is that just a coincidence, or?
Yeah, it's kind of the new recruiting model for us, Robin. We're only going to recruit left-handed players from this point forward.
Is there anything like schematically or anything that goes into a left-handed shooter that?
I always thought it was a little prettier when left-handed guys. I played with Chris Mullen, who was the purest shooter, just from a pure shooting form standpoint, and maybe it's because he spent 4 hours in the gym every day. But yeah, there's something about it. My son Jack was a left-handed shooter. My twin Sam and his twin brother Charlie, they're left-handed golfers, but they shoot the ball right-handed. But you see Sam, he's got a very good left hand as he goes to the basket. But I don't know. Again, it's about who they are as players and competitors and how they fit into our system, both offensively and defensively, and they just both happen to be left-handed. But I like their strokes. Both of them have nice compact strokes. As I said, Nick's one of the elite shooters in his class, and Casey, he's a pretty good shooter as well, being a lefty. So yeah, you might be onto something there, Rob.
You kind of touched on this with the Lincoln kid staying home. I believe Braden's the first Lincoln high school player to sign with Nebraska since Jake Muehlheisen in 2001 or 2, so it's been a while. But you've got 3 Lincoln kids now over the past 3 classes. As a former hometown guy, you kind of touched on the value of that and the significance. I mean, maybe just expand on what that means as a player to represent your home city, be kind of the hometown hero, literally.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly is a pride factor in it. And growing up, I went to Johnny Orr's camps at Iowa State, and I was a ball boy when he was really putting Iowa State basketball on the map. And, I just kind of fell in love with that. I had some great options going out, with some different situation, Stanford, Arizona, Nebraska football, those types of things. But, for me, the right move was to stay home and, play in front of my family and friends, and it turned out to be the right move. I guess the biggest thing is, with a guy like Braden, he's seen all the different rivalries. I think Greasel helped us with that and the importance of different games as you play, the non-conference and then also the conference games that maybe mean a little extra to the kids that grow up in the state. I experienced that certainly with an in-state rivalry. So, the guys that grow up in that environment and see those types of games, as a young player, they can educate your team on what it means to the fan base to play in rivalry games. For us, I'm anticipating this is going to work out great. It's a great fit, I think, both ways. I think he fits exactly who we are, and I think we'll help him really expand his game. And if you have success with it, hopefully that opens the door for, the next generation of hometown players. But, we're thrilled, man. Braden is just when you look at the athleticism, and I think that's where it starts a lot of times. You have size and athleticism and a work ethic, in somebody that's going to buy into everything that we're trying to sell to him. He's going to grow and be a great one. He's a really, really good player, and we're excited to have him.
With your current group of guys, obviously it's been kind of a weird start with guys getting injured. You have a lot of new guys. How far along do you feel like you are in that process of guys getting truly comfortable playing with each other and gelling with each other?
You know what? That's a great question, Wilson. The thing that I really liked in the last game, I thought our guys just went out there. Again, we are read and react. If a player sometimes asks me, where am I supposed to be? And, I think I've said this before, I tell them I don't know. What did the defender do? If he's in this position, you go that way. If he's underneath you, you come this way. And I thought our guys had some really good reads, and they're making progress in that area of kind of, I guess, improvising a little bit on the court and, getting the right guy. If Casey cuts into the lane, screen in on him out of the corner. We've made some of those reads. We had a couple possessions the other night where we didn't call a specific play, but we got into an alignment based on where the defense was, and we got an open three, and we got a layup on two of those plays. So our guys are really starting to figure out, especially now as we get healthy and you're seeing combinations that we kind of envisioned early in the process, but now you get Josiah and Rink out there together with Bryce, with CJ, with Sam, with Jerron, with Jamarcus, with Eli. I mean, you get different combinations out there, and I think you're seeing, which ones fit. We'll get lineup data from every game and just continue to try to make the right decisions to get the right guys on the floor. But, as we continue to get healthy, when we get Casey, when we get Jawan, when we get Ramel, when we get all those guys back, there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made, and there's going to have to be sacrifice. We've going to have a very deep team, and it might not be your night every night, but if you're truly in for it for the good of the team, whatever happens, you're going to be a great teammate. You're going to cheer the group on, and you're going to come back ready to work the next day and continue to get better. And I've been really impressed with our guys on how they've handled that so far. Even though it's only been one game, but it's a group that I really do think is in for it for the next guy and for each other, and it's fun to coach a team like that.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Fred.
We'll see you again momentarily. Well, great. Well, for questions, Mr. CJ.
CJ, just got that first game under your belt. How did that go for you the other night?
It felt great, man, to get back out there in front of these great fans, and yeah, all glory to God, man. Really, it was a great experience to be out there, get those first game jitters out of, and see what we look like as a full unit. I mean, we don't have everybody yet, but to have Rink and Joe back in the play and see what that looks like for us, it was great.
Yeah, what are you learning about this team as you get more guys back and have more of a complete squad?
That we're one, very deep, and two, versatile in a lot of different spots. We can put guys and plug different guys into different spots and still get those same looks that we want, or just get different matchups and attack those matchups and stuff like that. So we're deep and we're pretty versatile.
CJ, you've been on teams where in games like this, where it's a perceived inferior opponent, you've lost or they've been closer than maybe they should have been. What about this group is different than maybe years past about being able to come in with the right mentality, not overlook anybody, and make sure that you handle business while doing all the things to kind of figure out yourself as the season goes along?
I think, for one, it starts with the coaches. They set the standard, and for us to meet every day is about building habits and sticking to what we do as a team. It's not necessarily about Lindenwood or Florida A&M or Purdue. It's about us meeting our principles every day, and that just gives us the best chance to win. So it's kind of like building those habits to when we play those big name schools, and we're just ready for it.
What's the key mindset you have to have when it is a deeper team? When maybe it's somebody else's night, because there's so many guys who can do stuff.
Yeah, Kurt talks about that a lot. It's called he calls it collective consciousness. It's like we're all one. So one person's success is everybody's success. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if I go out and hit 5 threes, it's just as good as Sam going out and hit 5 threes. It's all one and the same. So.
You obviously haven't had a whole team for a lot of this time, guys getting injured and coming back. What's that process been like of building chemistry, especially with the new guys when you haven't had a full healthy team for a lot of the preseason?
I think a lot of it is battles in practice, man. We compete at a high level in practice, and of course you build connections that way, and then also off the court, we have guys that also to themselves live quiet lives, but we have we spend time together off the court. We go to football games. We'll watch college games together at Sam's house, or a group of guys just come together, watch it somewhere. So we just spend a lot of time with each other, and also too we compete in practice. So.
Did you watch the game last night? Great Florida A&M.
I didn't really watch too much of it. It kind of got pretty ugly, so I turned it off. But yeah. They got a lot of new guys. They play hard. They try to muck things up. But I think that's what we're prepared for all that stuff. So.
Any answers today, guys? Okay.
Appreciate you guys.
CJ,